what is it that's stopping Indian women even now? Because if you look at different industries, there are lots of strides that have been made, right? But when you really look at politics, we still don't see a lot of women at leadership positions. While there are, of course, a couple of politicians, surely, that we can name currently, but there aren't still as many, perhaps, as we would like to have. So, where do you think the gap lies, and why aren't women choosing this as a matter of profession or practice?
Right, right. I mean, there are a number of challenges. One, of course, the main challenge is the societal structures, the patriarchal structures, which limit some professions to, women. If you look at it from that sense, we did have many inspiring women leaders in the past, and the examples you mentioned are often referred as exemplary figures in Indian politics when we talk about women in politics. Uh, Apart from the societal patriarchal structures, the entry barriers for any youth itself to enter politics is high. That coupled with all other structures that are and discrimination that is already present in society towards women makes it doubly difficult for women to access politics as a career choice. And one important uh, aspect that we noticed is also that lack of role models. We don't talk about women in politics very positively. If you look at media discourse on women in politics, even the finest interviewer would ask questions such as, "Oh, how do you manage household and political job?" So, with such questions never get asked to men in politics, right? So that's where the nuances of what it takes to work in politics goes missing when we focus on the wrong questions, right? And at CGAP, that inspired us to take up this annual interview series called Worth Asking. So we ask questions that matter. We ask questions to explore in depth about politics as a career choice for women. So if a young woman who's aspiring to join politics is reading that interview, she would understand not just the challenges being faced by a woman leader, but also how they are overcoming in order to excel in politics. And one other thing that's missing in the entire discourse is about the role of men's allyship, because unfortunately today, and in reality, the politics as a career is dominated by men, and they are in leadership positions. But we do have some role models there who act as allies, who promote women within their political parties, within their constituencies. So we do not talk enough about the role of allyship and how we can strengthen the role of allyship, because we have many men out there, and we need that support in changing the structural barriers or reducing the structural barriers when it comes to accessing politics as a career.
Actually, I don't use Twitter a lot, but a couple of times that I have gone, visited Twitter, and especially if there are any politicians' comments, etc., that if in case I've ended up seeing, there are so many and indefinite rape threats and threats related to sexuality and threats related to person's sex life and all of that. I wonder, and I guess you're the right person to ask this question. Do you think that women face this exponentially or differently, or do you think that the in terms of threats and especially sexual threats, is it the same across?
Right. Yes, you are very right. I mean, the research all over also does show that women face these threats disproportionately higher than men, and they are gendered in nature. Just because of their gender, they are ought to face a certain nature of a threat, right? And it ranges from physical threats to psychological threats, and the the emergence of social media has only been used negatively by certain forces to demean women and limit their presence in public life. So we definitely need many forces coming together to solve this problem. On one hand, government strengthening the digital laws and all of that. On the other hand, political parties taking initiatives to sensitize their cadre. Many women leaders that I have engaged with or we interviewed at CGAP have repeatedly said that men are in leadership positions and their voice does have a lot of weight, so they can convince and sensitize their followers and the party cadre to act differently to women, to respect women, to engage responsibly on social media and other digital platforms. So there is definitely scope for improvement, but it requires concerted effort from across the quarters. There are these big giant social media companies as well, which are trying to strengthen mechanisms to prevent such hate and uh, dangerous threats, right? So, but it does require a lot of people coming together to solve.